the moment you fast, you have unlocked the power to get that deliverance. The moment you have fasted once, that power has been unlocked. But because of unbelief, you keep fasting again and again and again. Because of unbelief, you fasted yesterday, you prayed and you got delivered. Now today an issue is rising up, you see the need to fast again because there is no belief. You don't believe that you have the power of God to deliver yourself out of that situation.
Fasting is being misused by a lot of Christians, and God opened my eyes to this truth so we can all stop this thing we do where we guilt trip God into answering our prayers through fasting. And yes, fasting is a spiritual tool to increase your spiritual strength. It is not a tool for convincing God to answer your prayer. Fasting is not a suffering mechanism for making God answer your prayers. It has been misused in the sense that people run into fasting when they have serious issues. They can't just pray and believe that God will answer their prayer. Everybody, the moment the issue looks tough, you go and fast. The moment this, you fast. Nobody believes in a prayer answering God. We all believe now that we should put ourselves through the most, draining situation so that God can answer our prayers. We have misused fasting and changed it to what we use as suffer, and then when God see you suffer, he will answer your prayer. Also, it is used as a quick way to get your prayers answered by God. When you want your prayers answered by God quickly, you jump into fasting. We have misused fasting. Fasting is a tool for spiritual strength, not for quick answers to prayer. We don't believe in the God we are serving. We in this generation, we lack faith. We lack faith, we lack understanding of the love of God, and that has pushed us to rely on fasting as a tool. I've seen that a lot of people don't trust their relationship with God. They don't trust the love that God has for them. So they run into fasting. Fasting is an avoidance mechanism for people who do not believe that God answers their prayers. I repeat, fasting is an avoidance mechanism for people who truly do not believe that God answers prayers. And they fast over everything. And that is a huge indication that we in this generation, we are not aware of the love of God. We are not aware of what the love of God really means. And let's even come to Jesus Christ. Because Jesus himself fasted. When he came to earth, he fasted. But guess what? Jesus fasted once and for all. It was one fasting that Jesus used throughout his life on earth, throughout the deliverance, through the healing, through it all. It was just one fasting. And you know why he fasted once? Because Jesus does not lack faith. Jesus does not have that belief that I have to suffer myself before God can answer my prayer. We lack faith in God. We don't believe that God loves us completely. We believe we somehow have to pay for something to receive something from God. And fasting has been that mechanism that everybody uses to access the thing that we want from God. And right here, I'll just take you straight to the real revelation. The revelation is what happened between Jesus and his disciples. So when his disciples went out for deliverance, they came back with one last person that they could not deliver, which was a lunatic person, a madman. And they could not deliver the madman. And the first thing Jesus said was, "O ye of little faith." And forward, he said, however, this kind of deliverance needs fasting and prayer. You need to fast and pray for this kind of deliverance. So Jesus did the deliverance for the madman himself, and the spirit was gone. And this takes me to the fact that you don't have to fast every AK market days. At that moment when Jesus casted out that spirit, Jesus was not fasting. He was not in fasting and prayer. He already fasted his once 40 days fasting and prayer. So God said you need fasting and prayer to unlock this grace. For you to be able to deliver this kind of spirit, you need fasting and prayer. You need to have fasted once and prayed. So you don't have to repeat the fasting. Even Jesus at that moment was not fasting. So because he has fasted, he already unlocked that grace. So the moment you fast, you have unlocked the power to get that deliverance. The moment you have fasted once, that power has been unlocked. But because of unbelief, you keep fasting again and again and again. Because of unbelief, you fasted yesterday, you prayed and you got delivered. Now today an issue is rising up. You see the need to fast again because there is no belief. You don't believe that you have the power of God to deliver yourself out of that situation. And so you use fasting as a mechanism to fuel your unbelief. And this is the truth about a lot of us. We run into fasting as a way to fill our unbelief. The moment you have fasted, you have unlocked that power to get that deliverance. Anytime, any day, any year, any place, you have already unlocked the power. You don't have to do it over and over. You don't have to rely on it to fuel your unbelief. The first thing Jesus said to the disciples when they arrived was, "O ye of little faith," because Jesus knew that was their first issue: faith. Faith, faith, faith. If you don't have faith, even if you fast over and over, the both of them are intertwined. You need faith and you need power. So when there is power and there is no faith, there's nothing. And this is why even after fasting, the situation doesn't change, because there was no belief mixed with the power. The power is there now, but there's no belief. So always throw your belief. Don't soak yourself into fasting so much that you ignore the need to believe in God, that you ignore the need to trust in God. I can't remember the last time I fasted, but because of belief, my prayers get answered. I have filled that part of my spirit, believing in God, trusting in God, understanding the love of God. I used to think you have to fast and pray and do this and do that over every single prayer. Fasting and praying over every single prayer is a huge indication that you do not believe that God loves you. And when you fast and you pray all the time to God, all you are showing God is that, "God, I don't believe you love me, so I'm suffering myself. You can see that I'm hungry, so I'm suffering myself so that you can please answer my prayer." That is the meaning of constant fasting and prayer. If you are blessed, remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next week.